Yo, how you been? Welcome to another edition of DB2 Bets, brought to you by Betstamp, where we use the Betstamp app and we're finding the best odds available across all the different sportsbooks, and by Yup Beer. Visit yupbeer.com to find a location near you. Over 200 locations across Ontario. As I take a sip of this big wave to start.
Traitor.
I know. It felt weird even drinking that too. It's just like usually it should be a Yup Beer off the top. I'm saving up my last cold one for the end of the show. So shout out to our boy Dusty over at Yup Beer. Just waiting on that parcel to deliver by tomorrow. But what's going on? Josh Elijah here. Hopefully you've been having a great week. Hopefully you've been getting messy with your picks. NBA in full throttle here. Same with the NHL as well. This is actually the sports equinox today as we record on Thursday the 20th, where you have not only the MLB, the NFL, the NBA, and the NHL all with games going on at the same time. So a crazy time to be a sports fan. Gotta love October. I say that every week, and I just wish this month would never end. But I'm here with our pillar of the show, my second half, Jesse McKay, aka Man. Hey. How you doing, buddy?
What's up, fellas? Happy to be here.
Oh man, it's good to see your face. It's been a busy week for both of us on all ends, podcast related or not. But I know I could always look forward to seeing you on Thursdays.
Every Thursday, baby.
I know you've been busy at work, and you've been sending me some care packages. So shout out Indestructible with the sick threads.
I got you.
Tell me what's been going on over on your end with the Indestructible boys.
Man, just working on social media and building the brand. Just crushing it with reels, man. This is so much work. Gotta always be on and be creative, you know.
Oh man, it's nuts. I mean, like, just even putting out stuff for our show or what have you, like, it can get exhausting, and it really, and sometimes it just like it takes a piece of me by the end of it, and I'm just like, oh man, I need a nap or something. Like, it's it really I
you
salute
throw
you,
one
man.
up, and then it's like, okay, it's up. Now I got to immediately do another one.
Exactly, man.
Just
the grind is real. The grind is real. Speaking of which, this is a guy who's helped us out a lot with social media over the last few months. He's helped us out with fucking everything when it comes to this show. He's one of our OG connections with Betstamp, and we haven't had him on the show since we first released DB2 Bets with Betstamp, but he's Betstamp's own Josh Goodwin. Hey Josh, how you doing, buddy? Mr. Goody. How you been, man?
Hey, I've been amazing. Thank you, boys, for having me back on. It's been a pleasure to watch the show grow. You guys become really great bettors. Honestly, that record's impressive, especially as of late. You're on a heater, and I love everything you guys are doing. So just happy to be back on the show again.
Oh man, absolutely. And like we mentioned from the first time we had you on, we was like, we can't wait to have you back. And it's, it's actually been a good thing that it's been so long since you've been on the show, because there's just been so many guests that we've been able to cycle through and get people's opinions on different bets and what have you, and different tactics. But it's great to have you back on. It's great to have you on this show specifically because not only was I away a lot in September, but then once we came back, we've had our over-under specials for both NHL and NBA. But now we're back to our regular scheduled programming, back to what we're good at doing here, and that is picking winners whenever we can, and we bring on nothing but the best when it comes to this show, and giving us their insights. But before we jump into things, let us know. I mean, there's a lot going on with Betstamp, and a lot that I think that would probably be best if you kind of share what's going on over on your end, because there's a lot of sick shit that's cooking up, and just fill us in with what's going on.
Yeah, happy to, and appreciate the spotlight to do it. So Betstamp, I mean, the app is still getting everyday updates to it to make it faster, more intuitive, all those good things. And I would say the biggest thing that we've added recently is the futures tool. So, we had game lines, then we added in player props, and now we have the futures. So that's something that's definitely game changing. If you're looking to take your team to win the division, win the championship outright, I mean, you got to line shop these things. The price spectrum is huge when you're talking about future bets. So
huge,
super competitive tool. Definitely a welcomed and great addition to the app. So that's something to keep an eye on for anyone that hasn't been on Betstamp recently. Definitely great. And I've been using it myself. Another thing about Betstamp, and I would just say the overall company and the people who run it, is we have the hammer.bet now. So this is a betting specific content site, from blogs that are written to vlogs to everything that you have in the digital media production space that's betting centric is now housed under this site for us. So we got a bunch of people now that are pumping out picks, betting knowledge. It is on tap 24/7 on the Hammer. So that's something that's been awesome. Our app definitely complements what's going on there. But I think that a big difference these days is we're so used to degenerate betting, like sometimes the barstool brands of the world who just love to throw down those crazy parlays and trend sayings like the life's too short to take the under type guys, right? Like it's fun. That's betting fun.
Sure.
The Hammer has a different spin on exactly. And hey, I'm the first one to admit there's a big appeal to that. But the Hammer is definitely more about smart betting, education, information. It's to help you find edges and improve yourself as a sports bettor. I mean, don't get me wrong, we have some fun content there too. But as this space grows, I think the desire to be good at it will as well. And the Hammer definitely is helping to usher in some needed education. So that's what's new, man. Those are the big things.
No, for sure. And make sure you check out Hammer Network everywhere on social media as well. You can catch them through the BetStamp socials as well. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, fuck, we have a group chat, Gamblers United, and that shit is just it's wild. Some of the parlays that they're putting together that some of our boys cook up, and it's you know what, it is fun. But at the end of the day, you do need to bet wisely with your money. And I'm looking at some of these odds or some of these specials that they put together on some of these sites. And I mean, like I'm a sucker for them sometimes, but like, I mean, for example, yesterday or the home opener for the Toronto Raptors, you have Fred VanVleet, 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. And it's just like, yeah, that's totally attainable. And then obviously you fall short. And so I guess like, would you say that you're a fan of those? And when it comes to the Hammer, are you kind of trying to steer people away from making those quick, easy bets with a large return? How would you say that is kind of working out?
Man, it's all about the payout versus the implied probability. So, I mean, it goes to a whole entire science. But if you, for people who are interested in even learning about betting boosts a little bit more, Bonanza Bets, who is now in the media picks section for us, that's actually operated by Betstamp, and it features the Ontario boosts. And you have some of those same game parlays where, it'll be like multiple Fred VanVleet props or something. And it is a long shot. But then again, the payout is so good that compared to the probability of it happening, it makes sense. It's EV, so expected value. And again, these are definitely like nuanced kind of things that take a while to explain, but there's value to some of them for sure. I would say by and large, you need to be skeptical when things are promoted on sports books because of course the house is looking for ways to win, but obviously. there are most certainly good opportunities. You just kind of need to break it down to find the EV, which is easier said than done. But if you have people doing that for you, then you're in a great situation. And if you're in our Discord, then you have people doing that for you. So check out the BetStamp Discord.
There it is. Everything that you need to know in order to be a more educated bettor as well. One quick thing as well that we will touch on is the brand ambassador program, and talk to us a little bit about the BA, because that is also educating people a little bit more as well.
Yeah, it's great. So when you enter the BA program, like it's an awesome opportunity to get some event funding, whether it's for watching a game. Let's say you're part of a club or society at your university, like you want to have everyone over just for even like a board game night or something, like you can get Betstamp to sponsor the event, or even going down to Buffalo to watch a Bills game together. That was a recent one that popped up. As long as you can kind of like reason it, explain how it's happening, how you're going to give Betstamp some publicity and make it a theme of the event, then hey, we're happy to look into sponsoring it. And that's one of the great additions to being in the BA program. So there's so much about it. You can earn points and money by doing things on the app and by sort of shilling it out to followers. It's a really cool opportunity. And there are some sessions as well where you get to learn how to become a better sports bettor, which, I'll use the expression, you give a man a fish, you feed him today, but you teach a man to fish, he's going to be fed for his lifetime. So,
wise words, Goody.
There you go. So the BA program is, it's awesome.
Absolutely. And if you want to find out more information about the BA program, you can email us downby2podcast@gmail.com, and we'd be happy to give you more information on that. Please reach out as we're happy to share what we have in store. But with that being said, let's let's make some picks. Let's try and win a couple bucks. This is going to be aired on October the 21st, Friday, October 21st. But we have picks throughout the entire weekend, and I gotta say, this is our first episode back where we're actually able to start betting even football and basketball and hockey as well. It's been a lot of baseball over the last few months, and God, it's great to mix it up. I know Jesse's relieved. Betting baseball has been it's got its ups and its downs. It can be tricky. So we're definitely happy to have more to play with here. So to kick things off, we're gonna talk about our first NFL pick. And you know what, this was tough for me to actually pick one as opposed to I was thinking about maybe the Packers, maybe taking them on the spread, but if it was Carson Wentz, I'd feel a little bit easier about that. But now you got Heineke in, and you can't really trust the Packers these days, especially after losing the last 2 weeks in a row. So for this NFL pick, our first ever NFL pick here on DB2 bets, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. They're gonna take the Chiefs, and that's just like a matchup that's just gonna be chock full of good, so much stuff, so much juice to squeeze out of that. We got the Chiefs and the 49ers that are going to be facing off over the weekend. I'm going to take the Chiefs on the money line here. Minus 139 is the best odds out there, and that is available on ProLine Plus. Look, this is kind of a coin flip. It's a rematch from a couple Super Bowls ago. Honestly, I'm just kind of going off of this where Patrick Mahomes, he ain't losing 2 in a row. It was a tough game that he lost to the Bills last week. Crazy game as well. Just left Josh Allen too much of a window for him to be able to come back and march downfield. Patrick Mahomes, late game interception. We're not going to see that again. I definitely think it's going to be a close game. That's why I don't think I'm comfortable with taking this on the spread, as it's at 2.5. That's why I'm going to play it a little bit safer by taking the Chiefs on the money line at minus 139. Like I mentioned, Jimmy G is going to pass for a lot of yards. He's going to. Brandon Ayuk had a breakout game last week, 2 touchdowns. I definitely think that they're going to give him more options as well. But with that being said, there's a lot of missed passes last week against an atrocious Atlanta Falcons defense, one of the worst in the leagues, and they still couldn't figure that out. Very suspect pass coverage as well. So I don't like Jimmy G and the 49ers beating the Chiefs this week. I think it's going to be the Chiefs game. I think Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, obviously that's the hookup that everyone's looking for there. I definitely think that it's the Chiefs. The Chiefs are the play on this one. And again, best odds are available over on ProLine Plus. Any objections? Does anybody have any objections on this?
No.
It was tough for me to pick one that I just want to run with, and I think this is the one I feel the most comfortable with.
Yeah, I'm with you, man.
Yeah, I'm not going to doubt Patrick Mahomes, especially coming off of a loss. I think you got the right mindset there. So, and that's a pretty good line for I think how likely they are to win. So I think that's good value.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're taking them on the spread, it's looking like, you can take them on the spread at minus 1.5, and that's minus 120. So no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take them on the money line. I may pussy out and take an early cash out if it's available. But yeah, I'm definitely going to ride them on the money line there. And that is going to be our first ever NFL pick. Trust me, there's going to be a lot more winners and a lot more losers over the next few weeks. But we're just gonna dip our toe in for our first one, and we're gonna take the Chiefs on the money line, available over on ProLine Plus. All right, moving forward. And this is kind of based off of yesterday. But Berg, you got some you're hyped up. You're hyped up over one person right now. I mean, you're hyped up over a few, but
there's a few.
One more than all the rest to be able to put down a bet on. And let me hear it. I want to talk about it here.
Yeah, I'm amped to see Zion back in the NBA. Zion Williamson. We found one at Caesars for points over 24.5. And I think that's easy against Charlotte. Charlotte is going to be absolutely awful this year. They don't really have like a true number one center, in my opinion. And I think Zion's just going to have his way with them. And I think that's an easy bet. His first game, it's 25. He hit 25 points against Brooklyn. So
Do you know what the points over under was for that game in Brooklyn? I didn't watch any of it.
I
Nor
did
did I
not
look at it.
check. I cannot confirm. Sorry.
Because I can only imagine that it was about, I would say it was definitely, it was not 24.5. I could imagine it. I can't imagine it being any more than 23.5.
Yeah, I would say in the 20 to 23 range if I were to guess.
Yeah, man. He is looking bouncy. He's
Oh
looking,
my
he's
God,
looking,
he looks
he's
so good.
got a grin on his face. He's ready to be back, and he's ready to throw down. And you're right. They are going to be missing just any sort of forward presence in the paint. You're not gonna you're missing out on Bridges as well, just being away from the team and whatever the hell's going on with that situation. And there really isn't much to back that up.
No.
I mean, like they're missing somebody like a Montrezl Harrell that should be in the paint, but now he's just kind of collecting cobwebs over on the Philly bench. So
yeah,
I mean,
you've got like Mason Plumlee, like that's your guy, I guess. Sure, but like it's freaking Zion Williamson, man. Like this guy is so freaking dominant, and I'm so happy to see him playing basketball again.
Well, I mean, you look at Plumlee, but then that's JV's assignment, right? So it's like JV's gonna be the one boxing that out, and then you'll have Zion gobbling up all those boards, or gobbling up all the opportunities in the paint. I would actually also look at the rebound over under as well for Zion.
Oh, for sure.
But we're going to stick with that over 24.5, and that's available on Caesars. Josh, you liking what you're seeing from Zion?
Man, I'm loving it. And I cashed out on his rebounds over the other night. I got him at over 5.5, and to me that was a great number. I think people were way too worried about the Pelicans sort of nursing his injury, because that's what they've done in the past. But I think they've been really clear, like, the training wheels are off. They're going to let Zion play. And, if he gets hurt, he gets hurt. They're done babying it. They're going to actually use this player who is so high value. So I would agree with you guys that his points over under that game probably was only like, I could see maybe 19.5, but it's jumped up quickly because it should be up there. So I still think it's a really solid wager.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think the reasoning for them just kind of, throwing him out there and letting him play, it's probably because of that contract extension where it's just like, okay, we've got him for a bit. Any sort of ideas of him potentially leaving and not being happy in New Orleans, that's out the window. He's here to stay. He's here to play with a team that, they have been trending in the right direction, and they have been going out and getting their pieces. They got people like Larry Nance and then obviously the McCollum deal as well. So it's just like, these are things that, Zion probably did voice some complaints and be like, look, I need a team to be able to play with. I need options to be able to feed off of. So for them to go out and do that contract extension, let them loose. I love it. I think 24.5 is great. Go ahead and hammer that. That's minus 121 available on Caesars Sportsbook. Gotta love some Caesars action. All right.
Love it.
Goody. Moving on to your picks. We got a couple picks coming from you here, and sticking with the NBA. Why don't you talk to us about the Celtics?
Yeah, man. So nothing too crazy here. I just think that, a good bet is one where you think it's more likely than what the odds are reflecting. And I would say that the Celtics versus the Heat, don't get me wrong, give the Heat some credit, even though they did lose to the Chicago Bulls, who I think are a good team. But the Celtics are looking like they're poised to go right back to the finals. Will they do it? A lot harder done than said, or sorry,
yeah.
What? Yeah, there you go. I thought
no, you got it. You're good.
But yeah, so I think that I think the Celtics are really great, and it kind of pains me to say it because I don't really like the Celtics. I feel like they're not as deep as everyone says, but then when I watch them play, oh my God, they really are. So I'm undoubting them. I'm not really a Heat guy either, and I think that they're kind of losing their window quickly, even though they haven't gotten any worse per se. I just don't think they've gotten any better, and the East has gotten a whole lot better. So I think the Celtics are going to take care of business. And for that line right now, I think at minus 130, that's pretty good value on a team that I think is, pretty likely to win that game. So I don't think the odds are reflecting it yet. I'm seeing value on that.
Absolutely. I like that.
It sounds like something that someone I know just recently said on the show.
Oh,
Who was
for
that?
sure.
I don't remember.
That would have been you, Birdie. That would have been you.
Yeah, I'm not too high on the Heat this year either, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I mean, they're getting older. That's just a more competitive Eastern Conference as well. I mean, like they are not trending the right way. Jimmy Buckets is another year older. He's going through some mid-career crisis again with his hair or like whatever the fuck is going on with that.
Yeah, any shape. It's just bizarre.
It's weird. Kyle Lowry, look at his point totals too. Maybe hit the under on that game for his point totals, because I think he put up like 2 points yesterday. So yeah, it's honestly the Heat. We're not very high on them. Look at their season win totals. If you can, I'm not sure if they'd still be open actually now that the season's open or season started. But yeah, the win total, we ended up hitting betting the under on that as well. But I love it. I mean, the Celtics, hate them. Fuck Boston. But minus 130 is pretty good value for not only being I believe it's in Miami. Still, I think that's the right play with acquisitions like Malcolm Brogdon as well. I mean, when you have him as like, it could be your sixth man of the year.
Sixth man of the year, yeah. Definitely going to be a candidate.
Yeah.
Well,
definitely.
and I did worry a little bit. Okay, like Miami's a pretty big team. Like, how are they going to deal with that size with no Robert Williams? But I don't know. They dealt with Embiid and a really massive Sixers team, and they dealt with them pretty easily.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of tired of fading the Boston Celtics. Like, for minus 130, I'll hop on the hype train for a game.
Yeah, for a game.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Why not? Yeah. And the best odds that are available out there are on Bet99, minus 130 best odds out there. So we are going to go with the Boston Celtics for that pick. That's just on the money line. No spreads there. Money line. All right, Goody. Final one. We're going back to some UFC, and shout out to my boy Cam as well, who was going to jump out on the show. We're going to be having him on as our go-to little UFC specialist, where he can come on and chat a little bit about UFC, because we fucking don't know what we're talking about when it comes to UFC. We were talking about like we love watching them live, and then just making a live bet based on their entrance music and like the way
or their body type. Yeah, exactly.
Like that's usually that's the height of our knowledge. Just like, yo, this guy's got some sick threads. I'm like, that man, this guy's ready to come out and buck. So we that's basically how we go about our pick. But you got one for us here. Let's hear about it.
Yeah, so full transparency, I'm not the most informed UFC bettor. I follow it. I watch all the big cards. Like, I do have a knowledge there. But again, I wouldn't say that this is an expertise for me by any means, but I still really like this pick. Sean O'Malley is going to be facing off with Petr Yan, and it's going to be a preliminary fight, so it's going to be only 3 rounds. I'm thinking that this goes the distance, and then the winner by decision will be Petr Yan. So that's plus 110, and I believe it's Cool Bet. Yeah, it's at Cool Bet plus 110. So you're getting plus money. A lot of these sites right now have it at minus 105 or even minus 120. I saw on Bet99. So I will take the plus money. And the reason I think this is because you're only going to be a 3-round fight. So getting to the finish line isn't as crazy. We're not dealing with heavyweights here where like one punch changes everything. Don't get me wrong. Like, it still has that reality to it. It's just far less likely with the weight of these guys. And Sean O'Malley, I do think he's a good fighter, but he's been absolutely babied by the UFC. They have not given him many hard fights. The officiating's always been super in his favor. He seems more obsessed with being like a playboy rock star these days than a fighter. But I think he's good enough that he won't get like knocked out cold or anything, but I just don't see him winning. So I'm giving the edge to Petr Yan big time. But as it's being a 3-round fight, I really got to say, I think it goes to decision. And that's where Jan's going to take it, plus 110.
Love it. And yeah, I guess when there's only 3 rounds, I mean, like obviously the window's much smaller for any sort of knockout. And we're looking at the odds before this. And if it's just like, if it's Petr Yan straight up, the odds are obviously, not as good. They were like minus 200 and lower. So by taking this as a by decision, that boosts your odds back up to plus 110, which the best odds are available at CoolBet. There it is. CoolBet making their way into the mix again. CoolBet, I find they got to be one of my favorite sports books out there. We've had some homies from the network as well, or from that sports book, jump on to our show, and they always strive to have the best odds out there. And I always find myself at whether it's NFL Sunday or even talking NBA and then now UFC, always having amazing odds, and they're always in the mix. So again, we're going to be going with Petr Yan by decision. Very important, by decision, plus 110. And that's available on CoolBet, which brings us to the end of the show, which is time for the ding, 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 the pick and roll, brought to you by Betstamp, where we use the Betstamp app, and we're finding the best odds out there. Visit betstamp.app/onboarding. That is our new link, /onboarding, and use promo code DB2 to sign up for any sportsbook that is available in your region. And buy Yup Beer, of course. Visit yupbeer.com to find a location near you. Over 200 in Ontario. That's what it looks like. You see me drink it before. I'm switching it up, though. I got my IPA over here. Ding dong. A lot different, let me fucking tell you. Starting off, we're going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs on the money line, -139, and that is available on Proline Plus as they take on Jimmy G and the San Francisco 49ers. We're also going to take the Zion Williamson over points as they face the Charlotte Hornets over 24.5 points, and that's available on Caesars Sportsbook at -121 are those odds. We're also going to take the Celtics money line, -130. That's available on Bet99 as they face Miami Heat, Jimmy Buckets, and Kyle Lowry. And then ending it off with a Petr Yan by decision, +110, available on CoolBet for UFC on Saturday. Josh, my man, thank you so much for jumping on the show. It's always a pleasure to have you on. We'll have you on back, I guess, in the next couple coming months as well, as we're heavy into the NHL and the NBA season as well. Anything else that we need to be looking out for, Betstamp wise or other?
Hey, I'll keep you guys updated, but I think I went over most of it for now. And I mean, thank you so much for having me back on. And it's been an absolute ball. Let's hit some picks here.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's make a couple bucks over the weekend. Thank you guys so much. You can listen to this wherever you get your podcasts. You're obviously watching this now on YouTube if you are, but make sure you like, share, subscribe, and follow us on all channels. Cheers, guys. Have yourselves a great weekend. See you later.